Hey everybody, this is day 7 of our 31-day Proverbs challenge, and we will be reading in chapter 7. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them up upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a man void of understanding, passing through the streets near her corner, and he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and the subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house, and now she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him, and with impudent face said unto him, I have a peace offering with me. This day I have paid my vows. Therefore I came forth to meet thee diligently, to seek thy face, and have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves, for the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Okay, in this chapter, we're kind of following the previous chapter when it talked about the strange woman, or in other words, they called the harlot. And again, we start the chapter. It's, my son, keep my words and lay my commandments up with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them up upon their fingers, and upon the table of thine heart. Again, he is trying to stress that we need to keep this on our heart. We need to have, it's the Father's love for the Son, teaching him the ways of righteousness. And it's important to remember to learn them. Learning what we never use is of no use to us. Now, this comes from BibleStudies.org. Learning of commandments. Learning of commandments that keep us out of trouble will also save our lives. And that is exactly what he's trying to stress to us in each of these chapters as he's doing that. And he gives us a reason. It says, keep my commandments and live. The expression and it says, my law as the apple of thine eye. This expression refers to the pupil of the eye, because it is the source of sight and is carefully protected. The son is to guard and protect his father's teaching, because they give him spiritual and moral sight. Say unto wisdom, Thou art my sister. Call understanding thy kinswoman. That's verse 4. Wisdom should become a part of our very being. We have said before that wisdom is a gift of God to us and is in our innermost being. Understanding and wisdom go hand in hand. If we are wise, we have understanding. And the story kind of unfolds here in verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement. And it's just talking about the drama of seduction. Is basically like the viewpoint of one who's watching from the outside. And that's exactly what was going on here. In verse 8 it says, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. It says we see a picture here of someone observing from their window a young man who is not filled with the wisdom that we have been reading about, but a man who has no wisdom and understanding. He's a foolish man. Spoken of as a simple man here, perhaps unlearned. He has not heeded the warnings about the harlot woman, and he goes into her house. Against the advice of chapter 4:14 through 15, he put himself right in the harlot's place. Fleeing immortality starts by not being in the harlot's neighborhood at night. Notice, he believes that he is hidden by the darkness of night. Many sins are committed in dark and regretted in the light. And that's too, we think, well, nobody's going to see, nobody's ever going to know. But that is not true, because God is all-seeing and all-knowing. And the truth will always come out. It goes on to say, he had met her in the street, and that she had actually went seeking. And in verse 14 says, I have a peace offering with me. This day I have paid my vows. The peace offerings should not be involved in this type of rendezvous. Peace offerings were offered in the temple and a portion brought home to eat in a ceremonial supper, but not to be used as a bribe to get a man. According to the law of peace offerings, the meat left over after the sacrifice was to be eaten before the end of the day. She appears very religious in making the invitation that the man join her, because she had made her offering and is bringing home the meat, and it must be eaten. So when she got him there, then she goes into her seduction talk. Says, I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry and carved works with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Fine linens was the sign of wealth. Here the solicitation is direct, as she describes the comfort of her bed with its aromatic spices. Come, let us take our fill of love. Until the morning, let us solace ourselves with loves. We see here a woman who planned ahead to sin. She already had prepared her bed before she ever saw this young foolish man. This is the way of life with her. Her sleeping arrangements would have cost her a lot of money to prepare. This linen of Egypt symbolizes righteousness of the world, which is filthy rags. Linen equals righteousness. Egypt equals the world. This myrrh was expensive perfume, and which was ordinarily for the wedding bed. Adultery is not true love, but mere physical gratification. Love and lust have been exchanged here. No love exists. This is pure lust. The first thing that is wrong with this is that they are not married to each other. And it goes into 19 and says, For the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come at the day appointed. Here she gives the simple man the assurance that there is no fear of discovery of their act, since her husband had taken a large sum of cash needed because he will be away for a long time, returning at a set time and not before. So she's done told him, she's done invited him and and enticed him with food, and then she's enticed him with the comfort of her bed, and then told him nobody's going to know, and my husband won't find out because he's not here. He's gone away. So she knows the words to say to break down him in a weak time. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of stalks. An ox has no idea that he is going to be killed until it actually happens. This is the way of the foolish man here. He cannot see the destruction that lies ahead. He's only seeing what's happening in the moment. Till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteneth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Verse 23. This has been the plot all along, to lure him as a bird is lured into the net and then killed. All the while he has no idea of the plot to kill him. This refers to a mortal wound, as the liver represents the seed of life, and the bird is snared to be eaten. 24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Here again is a warning not to go into the harlot. The appropriate application of this drama is made in the admonition of the verses to avoid her deadly seduction. Verse 25. Let not thine heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. A wise heart would not fall into this trap. This is just a warning to stay away from this evil woman. You would have to decline to get to her, for her place is in hell. 26 and 27 here says, For she has cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. It's not just the weak men who fall, but strong men in the wrong place at the wrong time, with the wrong thoughts for the wrong reason. There are many men whose lives have been totally destroyed by visiting this type of woman. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. That pretty much tells you straight up. There is no heavenly home for these women or men they trick unless they repent and turn from their wicked ways. Death and destruction await her and her victims. The wicked devise a plot of deception in which the innocent are captured and victimized, like the one who was taken by death itself. For the wicked, it is a place of no return, darkness and torment. Again, we must hearken unto the words. We must guard our heart, and we must protect ourselves from the temptations. And obviously this was very important because this has been restated. So just take this to heart, put it in your heart. And, we've seen it, we've read it, and I've tell my kids all the time, and now we've heard it, that once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you hear something, you can't unhear it. And once you do something, you can't undo it. So guard yourself, be wise. Do not put yourself in a position where you will be easily swayed. I love you, and more importantly, Jesus loves you.